Hey, 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 happy day 76 of the BP Challenge. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, also known as Pajama Grandma, working on lowering my blood pressure. Now, I don't know if a haircut lowers my blood pressure, but I did get my haircut. So, I'm pretty sure lowering my blood pressure doesn't lower my blood pressure, or doesn't lower my blood pressure. No. Anyway, today we're going to talk about another key area of our life that we need to address or want to address. And again, talked about balance. They won't be 100% balanced, but we got to pay attention to each of these areas of our life. Today's topic is relationships. I have a couple of thoughts about relationships and a couple of ideas, and then one, of course, little challenge for you to do today with respect to relationships. Now, when you were prioritizing the 7 keys, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, contribution, and relationship, where did relationships rank for you? Now we're talking all of your relationships, not just your significant other, not just your kids, not just your immediate family, not just your work and people relationships, but relationships with all the other human beings on the planet. Maybe relationships with your pets. Maybe you have pets and you want to foster a better relationship with your dog or your cat or something. I don't know. Doesn't matter. All relationships, any relationship you have with anything or anyone outside of yourself. So, a couple of things about relationships. Number one, we get out of anything what we put into it, but we especially get out of our relationships what we put into them. Our greatest resources is not even our time anymore. It's our attention. What are we paying attention to? Who are we paying attention to? Who are we spending our time and energy with? And when we're with them, are we actually present? Are we paying attention? That is the biggest factor in determining the quality of our relationships. Are we putting into it what we want to get out of it? Now, that also involves being involved in relationships with the right people. We can only put in 100% of ourselves into a relationship, and what we get out of other people, that's determined by them. It's 100% up to them what they're going to put into the relationship. So give your 100% in your significant other and with your kids and everything, and then you'll see what comes back to you based on that. It won't always be 100%. What we give of ourselves, it doesn't always be returned by the person or the situation that we provide value, that we give to, but it will come back to us. If you give 100% of yourself to your love relationships, for example, you'll get 100% back. It might not be from your current significant other, but you will eventually be with the person that you should be with that will also be in a relationship where you give them 100%. I think it's interesting. People often go into relationships and they think, oh, it's 50-50. You do half and I do half. It's not how it works. Both parties, and I don't remember who I learned this from, but it was really powerful. And of course, it was after I got divorced that I learned this. But both parties have to be willing to give 100% of themselves to the relationship, especially in a significant other relationship, for a relationship like that to work. And if you're keeping score and counting and somebody's saying, you're not giving enough, then guess what? That relationship probably isn't going to work, because it's not 50-50. It's each giving 100% and figuring everything out together. So obviously, there's relationships that I are around me that are challenging right now. Our relationships, just like everything else, either grow or decline. We're either building that relationship and contributing to it, or like anything else, it'll deteriorate. If you've got a plant and you never water it and you never feed it, how long will that plant live? Not very long. Same is true of all of our relationships. I discovered that, and it seems very common, or maybe common just because I experienced it. Women, when they get married and have kids, tend to focus 100% on our families, and we don't have the time and energy to devote to our friendships. Now, I've got sisters and friends that have great circles of friends because they continued to nurture and grow those friendships even after they were in their significant other relationship and had kids. But some of us didn't do that. Some of us let those relationships go. And relationships that are not nurtured and continued tend to die or die in the vine. Now, I have amazing people in my life that I still call that I haven't seen for years, and we're still friends. It's like we pick up like nothing ever left off. But a lot of people, I was thinking about this the other day, a lot of people that I was so close to during my lifetime and as I was growing up, I've just totally lost touch with. So relationships, if we don't pay attention to them, if we don't continue to make deposits in our relationship accounts, guess what? They won't exist. Just like if you didn't make any deposits in your bank account, eventually your bank account wouldn't exist. The other thing about relationships to keep in mind is that they're always fluid. People come in and out of our lives for a reason, and there's an expression, people come in and out of our lives for a reason and a season, meaning people come in and out of our lives during different periods of our life based on where we are, where they are, and what we need from one another and what we contribute to one another's lives. So understand that, who your friends were when you were in grade school aren't necessarily going to be your friends your entire life. Sometimes they are, but most often they aren't, because all of our lives are independent and they go in different directions. They're dependent yet independent. So realize that people are going to come in and out of your lives. And that's perfectly okay. Appreciate them when they're in your life, and then let them go. Let them grow and be who they're meant to be. So relationships. My question for you today is, how do your relationships make you feel? Just take a quick inventory as your challenge today and ask yourself, and don't necessarily write it down if anyone's ever going to see this, but if they're not, go ahead and write it down. Just write down your top 10 relationships right now. Just 10. You could even do 5 if you want, but say your top 10 relationships, because that gets you past your immediate family for most of us. Top 10 relationships. And how do they make you feel? Do they make you feel awesome and positive, or do they make you feel negative? If you would have asked me this 5 years ago and I had to write down my ex-husband, I would not have said that one of my top 5 relationships made me feel good at all, made me feel absolutely awful. And that's part of why I'm not in that relationship anymore. So just today, ask yourself and write down the top 10, and then just, hey, does this make me feel good, or does this make me feel bad? Does this make me feel good, or does this make me feel bad? And then ask yourself, am I contributing to that, or is it just time to let that relationship go? I have relationships with people, customers, clients, business associates, friends, vendors that are, sometimes they've gone stale, or they're not worth rekindling or recharging, or it's just that it's time for them to end. You're the only one that can decide that or know that. But look at your top 10 relationships, or the 10 that you have the most, and then just say positive or negative in your mind, and say, is there something that I can do to improve this and help it grow, or is it time to let it continue to just fizzle out and go? Only you know the answer to that, but I think it's a good exercise, and I don't think we consciously do that very often. I think we all have friends that are just bad for us, right? We've attracted them for whatever reason in different times of our life, and we know they're bad for us, but we hang out with them anyway once in a while. And we know that, yeah, it's maybe time that I just start spending less and less time with that person. So look at your top 10 list. Or if you want to make more or less, go ahead and do that as well. And ask yourself, what am I contributing to the relationship? What are they contributing to the relationship? Is this what we want? Is this a relationship I want to continue? Or is it one that I can just let go by the wayside because I'm changing and growing and moving in a different direction in my life, especially as we're moving toward our goal and objective? It's important to ask ourselves about the relationships. Are the relationships that you currently have contributing to your 90-day goal? I got people that raise my blood pressure. There are people in my life that raise my blood pressure. Guess what? If I'm evaluating my relationships based on my 90-day goal, there's going to be people that I spend less time with because they send my blood pressure through the roof. And there's other people that just make me feel calm and relaxed and awesome, and I just love to be around them. There are people I'm going to choose to spend more time with because they reduce my blood pressure. They make me feel better. That's our challenge for today. So let's do it that way. Let's write down our 10 key relationships, and then how they make us feel, positive or negative. And then are they, and even if they make you feel positive, but they're interrupting and they're too big of a resource and they're going to impact your achieving your goal, maybe then we should just evaluate it on these 10 people. Are they moving me toward or away from my 90-day goal? And if they're moving you away from it, maybe just till the end of the 90-day challenge, we limit the amount of time we spend with those people. Up to you. Go ahead, enjoy this one, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow with our next of the, I think we've got, I'm not looking at it. It's actually not a 7 key tomorrow. It's a bigger topic than that. That's all I'm going to tell you about it. See you tomorrow. Have an awesome day. Bye.